So about that brand new Winged Dragon Raw support. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more awesome content. Wow. This is the first weekend. I figured we'd plug this into Market Watch to remind people. We got new prize cards this weekend. This is going to be the arrival of the Ultra Blackluster Soldier. Yes, this is going to be absolutely amazing to see. We are going to have top four, actually second through fourth, getting the super rare versions of these. I do expect these will be pretty expensive. The Call of the Haunted will be hitting the secondary market a little bit less expensive, considering this is the top 16 promo, which I don't think is going to be too bad. And then we have the Solemn Judgment, which is just the stamp version on it. Nothing really too exciting for this, but you know, I do expect that these will calm down like the Veilers and so forth. But interesting to see these choice of candidates. Now, we have the Winged Dragon of Raw to talk about. Now, the Winged Dragon of Raw definitely is going to be interesting. I mean, the fact that we have a new art for this is going to be great. But the problem here is this is a QCR. All right, you guarantee yourself that if you're going to play one of these, it's going to be the QCR, just because it is by far probably one of the nicer ones out there. And obviously, this looks gorgeous still. But as you can see, by the time this goes up, I mean, you're going to start to have people eating these out, and they're going to start going pretty crazy just to be able to pick these up. So I do expect some craziness to kind of be roaring on around with that. Now, obviously, there are alternatives to this. You can also get the original art, which is like $44 right now. There's a mod play on the market for about $29 to $30, which I don't think is necessarily too bad. If you like the Winged Dragon of Raw as a whole, I don't imagine that's going to be a bad pickup for you to want to be able to have. So that doesn't seem too bad. And then, of course, the other Winged Dragon Raw version on here. But those are going to be your main three big ones, just to want to kind of consider having here, because it is the Winged Dragon Raw, man. It is an iconic piece to the game's history. It's a very cool card. Now, we do have Phoenix mode. Now, this is in terms of a discussion that might be worth having a copy of this, just because, you're able to mode change the Raw into it. It's able to do some little stupid board wipe shenanigans. It's got some application going for it. It's just, wow, this is actually incredibly cheap. $17 on up to $18 a copy. Now, there was a time where these were $10 copies, but I see a near mint copy just got off of the market at $34. I don't know who spent $34 on a copy of Immortal Phoenix, but, I guess good job. You saw the new support and you went, oh, I have to pick this up, because it toggles down into sphere mode, completing the trifecta of Winged Dragon Raw shenanigans. Now, there is Blaze Cannon. This is probably going to be one of the cards that you might want to kind of keep an eye on, just because, it's not looking too bad. But I mean, it's a free, when an attack is declared involving this card, you can renumber monsters making an attack. But after damage calculation, this card attack can send all other monsters your opponent controls to the graveyard. Or you can make the monster, wield unaffected by things. I actually don't think that this is a bad card to consider picking up right now, considering the fact that this is paywalled behind, Legendary Duelist, and it has no other printings whatsoever. So this is definitely something to, consider wanting to pick up right now, just for the sake of, collectability. There's also the Big Ball in the Sky. Now remember, Big Ball in the Sky does have a ghost rare. I don't know how well the Big Orb in the Sky is going to go in terms of, playability, collectability here, but there's still, as of filming this, about $35 to $36 a copy, which I don't think is too terrible, considering the fact that they do rush up to the $40 mark. The thing is, though, you have a quarter century of this. The Big Ball is still like $20, all things considered, in order just to kind of be like that little back burner card for you to consider wanting to play. So, in hindsight here, I don't think that this is too terrible. Obviously, you're dealing with anything Winged Dragon or Raw related. You've also got the PCRs, which are like 5s. The ultras from the battle pack, or the duels pack, are like 5 as well. Your platinum secret rares are 5s. Looks like your PSRs are 4 to 5, and then so forth. So kind of just pick your version of which giant ball that you want to have. Like, I don't think that the card is necessarily doing too bad here. And then we have Ancient Chant. Now, Ancient Chant is always going to be, I personally think, one of the cooler cards that you could really pick up and just to try to make work. Right now, Ancient Chants are $10 because it adds a Winged Dragon Raw from deck to the hand. You get the ability to perform a tribute. If your opponent ashes this, I mean, like, I guess they're a loss, but that's still a pretty terrible place to get cut off. The thing is, though, the higher rarity versions of Ancient Chants are probably going to be the ones to probably go the absolute mile here, as we've seen before, typically when we're looking at these things. I would like to see Ancient Chant not be such an expensive card, but I have a feeling by the time that this is all said and done, you know, especially with the copies of people already picking up tonight, you know, we've already hit that $19 mark here, and it looks like we're going to kind of continue to burst on up here a little bit more. My hope here is with everything, you know, Winged Dragon of Raw related in the market, just, you know, considering what you got. I mean, you've also got the Secret Pharaoh's rares, which are like $205, and then of Ghost rares. The fact that I do have a feeling that the Ghost rares are going to be another topic of conversation over the weekend, just because these are $135 on up to $145, and then we start to shatter the $160. To be getting a Ghost rare in, you know, this quantity and this rarity, probably is going to be a little bit harder to work with, all things considered, but still very, very expensive nonetheless. Let's see here. Infinite Impermanence. So there's a couple of other little oddities kind of happening within today's market. Probably being the, I guess, the value of some of these already expensively established cards, all things considered. Imperms being as cheap as they are right now is a little bit weird, considering the fact that these are $50 heading on up to 62, heading on up to 65, and it looks like, you know, we just kind of continue to rage on up here. It looks like, obviously, the quarter centuries are $20, which inherently isn't terrible, considering the fact that these are from the tins, but still, that's got a good value carried with it. Original prints are still also up there. If you're looking at, like, getting these are still pushing about $16 on LP copies, on up to about 18s and so forth. So that's it's pretty interesting. Just on a topic of, you know, how imperms are kind of holding up on more of that top end of things, because this really isn't a card that you look at like the super high rarities of anymore. At least the Starlights are $11, but I mean, like, how often do people actually like the art stamp on these? That's kind of like your trade-off here. Do you like the cool art stamp? Do you not like it? You know, do you like the Starlight rares from the MP25 tins? I mean, these are $6 a piece. I mean, like, budget high rarity go. We've also got Elf. This was just best-selling. Do take in mind here, I'll just show you guys best-selling really quick. Some of these things on best-selling are not like a surprise. You get to see, like, the Blue Eyes doing well, Illusion Gate. You get to see the Mall Charmies. You know, Meow's now being sub 40 cents, I think, is a good thing. But then, you know, you get some of these ultras and weird things popping up. It's an odd time to pay attention. Speaking of odd things to see, what is Ghostspell in the Haunted Mansion on the top of best-selling? Well, if you look at just the sheer amount of copies that have sold today, somebody bought 20, 12, 2. They're just trying to get that free shipping on the most cards that they can get. I'm honestly surprised by the sheer amount of Ghost Spells that have been rotating through the market. I don't know if it's just like hand trap usage right now, and you know, it's actually looking pretty decent, so I'll actually take that. Also, later on this weekend on Sunday, the Night Blossom deck box, binder, the bundle is all going to be available from Sleeve Chief, and it is going to be an absolutely amazing deal. Discount code IMCO40 will save you on your purchase on the bundle. If you're looking at just picking up the Night Blossom, the set looks absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing, this set come into fruition as well. So guys, please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back there in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.